This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. The complete Alex Harlan FBI thriller series by Phillip Strang. Ridgelines. Chapter 1. The Chevy rumbled over cracked asphalt as Alex Harlan crossed the county line into Coventry Ridge. 5 years gone, and the welcome sign still hung crooked, bullet holes peppering its faded paint. He eased off the gas, watching the land rise around him like cupped hands. Main Street stretched ahead, half familiar, half strange. Miller's Hardware stood empty, windows papered over. The old movie theater had transformed into a wellness center, its marquee now advertising yoga classes instead of second-run films. But nestled between these changes, Dawson's Market squatted unchanged, its red brick facade stubborn against time. Alex's fingers tightened on the wheel. His breathing had changed. Shorter, quicker. The training kicked in without his consent. Heart rate elevated, pupils dilated, fight or flight brewing beneath his skin. "Not your patient," he muttered, catching his reflection in the rearview. The circles under his eyes had deepened during the 12-hour drive from Chicago. He slowed as he passed Dawson's, where 3 men lounged on the wooden bench out front. The oldest, had to be Bill Dawson himself, stood suddenly, hand shielding his eyes against the afternoon sun. His mouth moved, pointing toward Alex's car. The other 2 turned as one, their faces tightening with recognition. One pulled out a phone. "That didn't take long," Alex said to the empty car. The Chevy climbed toward the eastern ridge, where houses clung to the hillside. New construction dotted the slope, featuring boxy vacation homes with wide decks that faced the valley. They stuck out like splinters among the weathered farmhouses and cabins that had stood for generations. His palms had gone slick with sweat. He rolled down the window, letting mountain air rush in, pine, dust, and something he'd forgotten, the smell of home. 3 pickups roared past, headed into town. One honked, the driver's face hidden behind dark glasses, but his raised hand might have been a wave, or a warning. The road narrowed, trees closing in on both sides. Shadows dappled the pavement. The switchbacks grew sharper, each turn bringing back memories from high school, when he'd driven these roads too fast, thinking himself immortal. He pulled onto the gravel shoulder near the summit, killing the engine. From here, he could see the whole town spread out below, with its grid of streets, the church steeple, and the high school football field, where Friday night lights would soon flicker on. Further out, Pleasant Valley Ridge rose dark against the sky, pine-covered and secretive. Alex stepped out, legs stiff from the drive. A hawk circled overhead, riding thermals with barely a wing flick. Something about its patient glide made his neck prickle. The town looked smaller than he remembered. Or maybe he'd grown too used to Chicago's endless sprawl. He leaned against the warm hood, letting his eyes trace the ridgelines that marked the edges of the world he'd once known. His phone buzzed. A text from his old partner Kit. "Arrived yet?" His thumb hovered over the screen. Kit didn't need to know he'd stopped here, gathering courage like a teenager. He slipped the phone back in his pocket, unanswered. The hawk screamed, a harsh cry that echoed off the hillside. Alex flinched, then caught himself. 5 years away, and the mountains still knew how to get under his skin. He slid back behind the wheel. His father's house waited just over the next rise. The old man might be having a good day, might remember his son's name, or might stare at him with empty eyes, lost in his crumbling mind. Alex started the engine, bones humming with the vibration. The day was fading fast. In Coventry Ridge, night came early, shadows pooling in hollows while sunlight still gilded the peaks. The house looked smaller, its white clapboard dulled to the color of old bones. Alex cut the engine and sat listening to the tick of cooling metal. His father's Oldsmobile hunched in the carport, dusty but recently driven. The porch swing hung motionless in the evening air. He grabbed his bag from the back seat and climbed the warped steps, each creak familiar as his own name. The door opened before he could knock. "You're late," Thomas Harlan said. I expect.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.